G'day everyone, my name is Troy. Thank you so much for checking out the Hammerspace Recording ToneX captures. Today I'm just going to walk through the 5 amps that are currently available in the Volume 1 collection. Just discuss quickly what the tones are, how the files are labeled, and what we can do with the sounds. So let's have a quick look at what we got here. Here's ToneX open. Top here are the user folders. This is just some shortcuts that I made in my own project just so I can quickly access the sounds. So what we have is at the top, the first one is HS Korn MK50, which is a capture of the Cornford MK50 head. The second is the HS Evil Robot. Third is the HS JMP HF mod, which is a 1977 Marshall JMP that's been modded by Headfirst amps. Next is the HS MP1, which is an 80A MP1, and finally the HS Stiletto. So there are multiple captures in each pack. We'll start by taking a look at the Cornford MK50, and I will just select, I'll select the very first one, Drive 2 at the top here. So you'll notice that this top, the top few captures, these all have a C at the end of them. So Korn MK50 Drive 2 C and Korn MK50 OD1 C. The way all of the tones were captured across the entire pack of tones is there are dual captures with a cabinet and without a cabinet. So I've ran through the entire process, marking a specific cabinet per amp with an SM57 and a Royal 121. Both mics very carefully phase aligned, and that is what what all the C versions are listed as. So I did this because I like my cabinets. I'm very comfortable with the way they sound. I know how to get the sound out of them that I want, and I just wanted an easy way for myself and for whoever chooses to use the cabinets to get a guitar sound that they would enjoy. However, because of the enormous flexibility of modelers and software and whatnot in today's guitar universe, I redid every capture without the cabinet. So there's a head-only version of each sound. So if you choose to use a cabinet like an impulse response that you already have, there's a million out there and they all sound really good, or a lot of them sound very, very good. You can choose to use that with any of these sounds. So, for example, here is the HS Korn MK50 OD1C, which you'll notice has the 1960A Pinky Greenback cabinet attached to it. This cabinet is a JCM 900A cabinet, so the top slant cabinet, with a Celestion Greenback that I really like. It's not an old Greenback, not a new Greenback. It's probably around 20, 25 years old. But it's a speaker that I've worked with a lot. I've really enjoyed recording it. And it's the one that sounded, I thought, the best with this amp for what I was trying to get out of the guitar sounds. It's called Pinky because it's covered in pink ToneX, because that's rock and roll. Now you'll notice if we scroll down, so that's the Korn MK50 OD1, we should be able to find the HS Korn MK50 OD1 without the C, and you'll notice that that doesn't have a cab attached to it. So you can import your own impulse response if you like. Now, in addition to doing the ToneX amp captures, I have created impulse responses of all of the cabinets and all the speakers that I used through the entire Volume 1 pack. And there's different blends of each microphone. So you'll notice in the folder attached to each specific amp, there is 11 impulse responses. Once again, it's a Shure SM57 and a Royal 121. The positions are fixed, but the blends between the mic has changed. So they're roughly 3 dB, or exactly 3 dB increments between each sound. I also have a specific soloed version of the SM57 and the Royal 121, so you can blend them yourself if you've got a specific software that can do that, or you can blend them with other impulse responses if you want to do that too. So we'll have a quick listen to some tones. I'll use the factory demo audio demos just for this video. I've found this section of ToneX incredibly useful and incredibly powerful in trying to dial in sounds because it's kind of difficult sometimes to play and then twist the amp knobs. And I usually use this as a starting point and then sort of fine tune it with a guitar. So there's a couple of sounds in here that I've used quite a bit. I like this gritty tone for some of the normal 80s rock and roll sounds. So we'll just hear what that sounds like with this OD1 sound. So that's just a very quick demo. Once again, that is with the full rig capture through the Pinky Greenback cabinet. But if I wanted to put an impulse response on that to hear it, we can do that as well. So let's scroll down to the OD1 without the impulse response. And we'll just quickly hear what that sounds like. It has no cab attached to it, so it's going to sound a little nasty. Exactly as we would expect. And let's put on a custom IR. So here I have the HS Pinky Greenback 57-121 combo. So we'll just add this in and hear what this sounds like now. So once again, there's 11 impulse responses included with each amp. You can choose to use those if you wish, and different blends if you would, for example, like more Roy 121 or more SM57 or just one or the other, then that's included. I'll lock this and we'll just quickly listen to a couple of other tones with the impulse response so we know what it sounds like. I'll leave it at that. You'll notice there are a few tones provided that have used a boost pedal or a drive pedal in front of the capture. I didn't do that with everything. I tried to capture roughly 2, 3, 4 sounds across the spectrum of each amp, and then boosts at the end of that. You'll find each pack has different amounts of captures in it, but I just wanted to give it a general taste, general overview of what each amp is capable of. So, the boosts are typically speaking more high gain sounds. Some of the other amps, though, I've used. For example, we'll have a look at the Evil Robot and the JMP1 in a second, but I may have used a cleaner sound with a light overdrive boost, just for a slightly different character as well. So it's quite a lot of versatility between the amps. I'll take that off, just listen to one more sound really quickly. Let's just try the Clean 1C, and we'll try this clean preset because this is really, really nice. Once again, I really like these audio demos that are included in the ToneX software, and I found them really useful when dialing the sounds. And that's a really great, very dynamic sound. So you can hear across the spectrum how dirty things can get. I'll flick the reverb off, and we'll quickly talk through the other amps that are in the pack here. So next is the Evil Robot amp. This is a 1x12 combo, which is the Phil X signature amp, one of the Phil X signature amps that came out probably 10 to 15 years ago. It's a really cool sound. It's based off an old Tone Master. It's not a super high gain, heavy metal sort of an amp. I like it for clean sounds a lot, and I like it for like slightly driven sounds. And because of the 1x12 nature of it, it does have a very different character than what some of the other amps have that are provided in the pack. One thing I want to note about this is on the internet, if you read some reviews about this amp, you'll notice there's quite a lot of negativity thrown at the speaker, which is quite surprising. Well, maybe it's not that surprising. I found this amp initially a little difficult to dial in for recording, and it took a little bit of work. I had to mic it in not a wildly different position than what I would normally do, but maybe slightly different, approach it slightly differently. However, when I found the right spot to put the mic, I thought it was really, really special. And I've also found that this impulse response has worked really great across a lot of other genres of music. It's not just for this amp. it's a 1x12. It's an open back. It's a different character, and I think it's worth trying that out if you get the option. So we'll have a listen. We can try the clean sound first. I'll put the reverb on for the clean sounds because I think it really does add something. The other audio demos I've released in the short clips of each amp, I haven't really included reverb on any of those, but I think this is worth listening to. So here's the clean. It's a really pretty sort of a guitar sound. Let's just try a slightly different sound. I'll go to Rider and we'll try the Drive High A. So hearing a sound like that, it isn't, I'll turn the reverb up actually and we'll listen again. A sound like that, it doesn't have the chug sound. It's not a super gained out amp like that. Maybe we'll try the Dirt preset. I really like that tone. The sort of feels like the amp is on the verge of blowing up sort of a sound. Yeah, again, very, very different to some of the other tones that we've got in the pack here. Once again, all of the Evil Robot sounds. There is the C version, which you can see here, the AC version, which has the cab, and then versions without. So if you want to use your own impulse response, you can do that. In fact, we'll try that really quickly. Let's try Drive. Let's try the Boost actually, because this is kind of a cool sound. If you do want something slightly more obnoxious. And let's try the Pinky cabinet, like what we just listened to before. It's a different sort of tonality, but really cool. Like, again, it feels to me like it's on the edge of blowing up, which I enjoy a lot with this sound. So we'll keep moving on. Next is the HSJMP. This is a 1977 Marshall that I've had for over 10 years. I really love the way this amp sounds, and it's made it on a lot of recordings. This amp has been modified by Headfirst Amps over in Melbourne, here in Australia, to include a couple of general mods. It had, when I bought it, a master volume mod. So it was originally a 1959 non-master volume, and it was modded to like a 2203 sort of a circuit many, many years ago. Headfirst has gone through and changed it a little bit, tweaked it to give the JEL mod, so it maybe reduces a little bit of low end in the input stage, and increases the gain, so it doesn't get as flubby when you try and play, if you want to play slightly higher gain tones. And it also includes a Jose-style diode clipping switch too, so you get a little bit more gain out of it. We'll go through and listen to some tones. We'll start with the JEL2C, and we'll go to the gritty sound again. This amp has switches for the JEL mod and for the Jose diode clipping. So that's with the JEL switch on. If you want to listen to it as more of a standard 2203 sort of a circuit. I actually love that sound. It, to me, is just a really good, clear rock sound. For a bit more gain, we can use the Jose or the JEL Jose switch. Once again, there is the cabinet version, which is the C at the end. If you wanted to try it without the stock cabinet, we could try, for example, the what are we selected on at the moment? That is the JEL Jose 2C. So if we can find the JEL Jose 2, and maybe we'll put a different cabinet. We might try the HS1960BV, which is a cabinet we'll talk about in a second. And that sounds like this. So really easy to chop and change. And once again, if you have your own impulse responses that you like, you're more than welcome to use it with these sounds. I really like the clean sounds in this amp as well, and it's worth quickly having a listen to it. So I'll go back to the clean sound, the clean demo, and I'll put some reverb on. In fact, we'll use the one with the cabinet because I think that's more like it. It's a really, really pretty sound, and I do like what the reverb adds to it as well. Moving on, let's have a quick talk about the MP1. This is based off one of my ADA MP1s. I've been a big ADA MP1 fan since I saw two of them in Paul Gilbert's rack in the Intense Rock, shred video from 1988 or 87, whatever he put that out. And I've been lucky enough to have ADAs in my possession for almost 20 years. So collected them before the prices got a little bit crazy. But this is a really, really awesome sound. I probably want to highlight firstly the MW number 45 sound. This is very famously the MP1s we used on a lot of 80s heavy metal and hard rock albums, your Nunabet and Courts and Skid Row and White Line, a lot of albums that Michael Wagner, the producer, has worked on. So he very famously used the number 45 preset in the ADA MP1 for a lot of his guitar sounds. And there was a lot of other equipment in addition to that, but I just wanted to capture that sound to use for my own devices. So that sounds a little bit something like this one. Just a really great rock guitar sound, in my opinion. I will point out with the ADA, all of the ADA captures, you'll notice the amp based on is the ADA MP1 and also the 292. Now this is the Fryette 292 power amp. I found by adding a power amp into the system, into the signal, it just gave me a little bit more of what I wanted out of a slightly more traditional guitar sound. I've sort of tried everything. I've tried using just the ADA MP1 direct, and it sounds great, but not sort of what I wanted for this. I've tried different power amps, Marshall power amps and solid state power amps and Class A, B power amps and Class D power amps. I've sort of tried everything out, but I found the 292 was a really, really good pairing with this preamp. Also just having the ability to have a resonance and or depth and a presence control. I can't remember what it's referred to actually. Resonance control on the power amp just helps to give it a bit more life. So this is a really cool pack. There's some boost sounds in here as well. So if you do want a bit more heavy metal. It can be really useful. And I've got some lower gain and some cleaner sounds in this as well that are worth checking out. Last but not least, the Stiletto, the HS Stiletto. This is a Mesa Boogie Stiletto amp that I've had for maybe almost 10 years now. This is kind of like the Evil Robot, a lot of negativity online about it in some regards. And people I know that have owned this amp haven't really taken to it so much. This is an amp that really benefits from reading the manual. I'll say that. If you happen to own one of these amps and you haven't done that, I would suggest checking that out. I found with this amp, something really fascinating is my background is as a recording engineer, and why I have so many amps hooked up to switches and whatnot to be able to get guitar sounds. Oftentimes when I get a new band coming through, I will, or even just starting a new track or a new project with someone, I like to line a bunch of amps up just to find a few different tones to see what works for the song. And it's funny because it's not the first one I go to. I have found though, when everything else fails, when I put 3 amps up, the Stiletto comes out and it almost always wins. I'd say 99% of the time it wins as being the sound that the artist is after. So it is really versatile, and it's not necessarily a high gain heavy metal amp. It's basically like their take on a Marshall. So it is, has a bit of that character to it. But there's quite a few different examples within this that I think you'll really enjoy. So if you do like the high gain sounds, the fluid mode is the highest gain available in this. We'll go back to our gritty sound because we've used that. Just a really good rock sound. I really enjoy the Fluid Boost 3 sound for something that has a bit more high gain in it as well. Has a lot more of that really focused nasally mid-range, which I like a lot. We'll check out a sound now that has a slightly lower gain. Let's try the Crunch 2. Maybe we'll try the Shine sound for that. Bit of a more sparkly sound. The clean sound in this are really great as well. Like, it's just a really versatile amp, and as I said, it comes out a lot in my studio and gets quite a lot of use. So that's a very quick rundown of the 5 amps available. I hope you enjoy them. I think they're really useful. They've been really useful for my own personal workflow, and yeah, hopefully you dig it. Anything that I can help you with, just drop me an email on the website there, or you can follow me on Instagram at Hammerspace Recording or personally at Troy Neverbarn. Thank you so much. See ya.